Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the On The Go podcast. We're here for a Feel Good Friday. I'm one of your hosts, Jacob. Ooh, I'm about to say, my name is Jacob. You know why? I was looking right at you.
Oh, yeah? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I was looking right at you. No, I'm your host, James Jackson, and the guy that controls all the technical stuff, Jacob Patone. Jacob, what's going on, man?
Oh, it's Friday.
Good.
It's been a hard week. It's Feel Good Friday.
Yeah, it's is it?
Is that what we're calling it? Or are we just going to do Feel Good Fridays?
Yeah,
all right.
Feel Good Fridays.
That sounds good to me. I'm not going to fix that intro, by the way. So that's just how it's going to be.
Oh, that's fine. I'll just be Jacob. You be James.
Yeah, we can do that. We can have a reverse day?
Freaky
reverse
Friday.
No day?
Yeah. Freaky Friday.
Okay.
So what's been going on? You good?
Yeah, man. It's just the week's been a week,
Yeah, that's true.
You just have one of those weeks where you're kind of meh the whole time.
Meh?
Yeah.
I never know what that means. What does meh mean? Meh.
That's a good question. You just don't you don't feel energized, but you get up because you got to.
You managed to make it during the week.
Yeah.
You know you got bills to pay.
Essentially, yeah. You just kind of don't want to do anything, but you're existing.
Yeah, because once you see the bills on the table, you're like, ooh, I got to go to work.
Yeah. Well, especially like the weeks between paychecks are always kind of meh.
Oh, those worst
you know what
ones
I mean?
there.
Yeah, those are the stretch weeks where you're just like, all right, what can I go without this week?
Yep. What's that meme I see of that jet flying in? This is your bank account when your check comes in.
Oh, yeah.
It hits the runway and this go right off the runway.
Yeah.
This is your check after that. It just goes. Yeah, man. Those bills kill you.
Yeah.
Bills are a nice motivator.
They are. But they're also really annoying.
Oh, yeah. When you were a kid, you never knew that you had to pay so many bills.
No. Well, the problem is like all these subscription plans.
That's about to say. Yeah.
We were talking about the ride over here. You were kind of complaining about Disney Plus being $21 a month. I don't pay 21. I pay 15. And they upped that on me without me even knowing. I swear it was like $10 one month, and the next month it was like 15 again. Or not again, but it was 15.
15, yeah.
And I was just like, what the heck happened?
I just don't understand paying. Because like I said, Disney Plus relied on two individual franchises, Marvel and Star Wars. They relied on those two franchises to help them out and have them serve as your only streaming content.
Yeah.
But that's not how it works.
No.
You have a streaming platform, you have to have.
Well, I will say at first it was cool because they had all the Disney stuff on there, right? So for a little bit, it was like, oh, I can go back and watch like this old Disney show that I haven't seen in years and all that stuff. But then like the nostalgia wears off, right? Like you can, it's cool to go watch Darkwing Duck, but you're not going to binge the series.
You're not binge watching Darkwing Duck. You're not binge watching,
you know what I mean?
Bonkers.
Bonkers. Or Boy Meets World. I remember I got super back into Boy Meets World, and I was binging it for a little bit, and then I just dropped off because Boy Meets World is a great series. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a binge show. Like it's a sitcom,
It's good to know that you can have it when it's there.
Right, exactly. Or like even like the old classic like Disney Channel movies that came out, like Luck of the Irish or The 13th Year, like those late 90s, early 2000s movies that were kind of quintessential to growing up watching Disney Channel.
Well, that was quintessential to Disney Channel, period, because those were
the Disney Channel original movies. Yeah,
those were most important movies.
Oh yeah, it was always cool. I think it was like every Friday or like once a month they would have one come out or something, and those were always cool to watch. Or like the Halloween Towns. The Halloween Towns are classics. You know what I mean? But outside of that, you're right. It's like, are we really going to watch like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs from the 1950s?
It's hard enough to get kids to watch normal cartoons that you grew up watching. They're not watching any of that stuff that's on Disney Plus. That stuff is meant for us,
right? And
millennials.
And you're not going to go watch the newer series from Disney.
Exactly,
you outgrew it.
Or
they did a reboot of the Proud Family. And that was fun to watch for a couple episodes, but then it's like, am I really going to continue with the series?
You're not.
No,
you're not. So in that case, you need to have more original content,
right?
And I'm talking about straight original content. Now I'm talking about the National Geographic stuff.
I do want to know what contract they have with whoever like does the concert recordings. Because they get all the concerts, like they
getting the Eras tour.
No, they have the Eras tour.
Oh, it's already on there.
Yeah, it's already on there. They have the Eras tour. They have like Ed Sheeran. They got Ariana Grande. They got like everybody. It's like BTS. BTS just exists on Disney.
Yeah.
So it's like, what contract do you guys have with these recording artists that like that's where their concert footage goes. It's kind of cool. You can watch some of their concerts. Like over the week, Khadijah watched the Eras tour, and I was kind of watching it with her, and it was interesting to watch just because like the stage production of it was so huge. Because like I mean, set pieces like almost every song were getting changed out, and like she's got costume changes and all this stuff. So it's quite interesting to watch. But one thing we noticed about Taylor Swift is she has no choreography. Thank you, God. Yeah, but, yeah, she has like none.
Like, we know that
she doesn't dance. I never knew because I never watched like Taylor Swift perform. But it's like she doesn't dance.
She's not like Beyonce where she's dancing or Janet Jackson.
Oh, and like she holds the microphone with one hand, which I mean, of course you do, but like only one hand. Like she doesn't switch it. It's just like the one right hand, and then the left hand is just like.
Yeah, she does a lot of low around. Oh, she does like switching on the stage.
Yeah,
like
posing.
Elvis and posing.
Posing. She was playing guitar, and like after every verse, she would like pose. And Khadijah was like, because I came back from somewhere like work or something, and Khadijah was already watching it, and I pointed that out, and she's like, yeah, she's been doing that the whole time.
That's all she do.
And then her poor backup dancers are underutilized because they have to. Their choreography has to match her choreography, which is very little. So like one of the moves is just like they're like bopping their heads,
but it makes it a lot easier though. It does help. You can worry about everything else, vocals, production time.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes it a lot easier. But I never looked at Taylor Swift as that's like a person that was like could dance. She does sometime in her videos.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
I don't know. I've never really watched her stuff. It's just like it was on, so I was watching it with Khadijah on.
She gives a good concert. I give her that. Like,
yeah, it was a good show. It was like how she put everything together, or how the stage production put everything together was just immaculate. Like it was insane to me because it's just like how big of a stadium do you need to do all this like preparation and stage work? She's got a band behind the scenes that you don't see the whole time.
Yeah. Well, you must haven't seen Travis Scott concert. Scott concert, his concert is like Dr. Seuss on the steroids.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know of the one.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about like his usual concerts got like hot air balloons and big stuff moving around. There's balloons all over the place.
But see, I like that kind of thing with live performances or like the big stadium shows anyway. If I'm going to go to a stadium show, that's what I want to see. I want to see set pieces. I want to see like a performance. You know, the smaller shows obviously it's more intimate and it's just the band. That's cool. But if I'm gonna go to a stadium show, I want set pieces. I want them to do.
Well, you want your bang for your buck because concerts are expensive. So you want your bang for your buck.
And it's funny because there was a post talking about like, all my favorite bands from back in the day are super expensive now, and someone made the comment. It's like, yeah, because they're not new bands anymore. They have got like 4 or 5 albums out. Like, yeah, their tickets are going to be $100 a piece. Like, they're not on the first album anymore. All right, like it's just.
I know what Stone Temple Pilots about to have a concert in August, and I know me and my sister, she wants to go.
Yeah.
So it's going to be at the Woodlands Pavilion.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
The prices over there are usually pretty decent.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Tickets go on sale pretty soon. So
are they?
Yeah. So I definitely want to check them out. She says it doesn't have to be anywhere close. So I mean, but it's kind of crazy. I was just talking about Stone Temple Pilots. I was just listening to them.
Yeah.
And on the Crow album.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing album, by the way. We'll definitely get into that because I have a lot of reactions about the Crow. We got a lot of stuff going on today because we got a lot of trailers and stuff.
We do. We have a trailer park trip, a big trailer park trip.
And we got like some little minute news going on movie news.
Yeah.
Because I guess we can kind of get to that now, huh?
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, might as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the Variety article is titled Aaron Taylor Johnson, we've all had enough of studios churning out stuff that dilutes wanting to go to the cinema. But in this article, it mentions him being eyed for James Bond, which is part of the minute news, right?
True.
Is they're looking at him to become the next James Bond, which I think you said before we started recording, they don't even have a director or a writer for the movie yet?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
So this is really just like, we're looking at him.
Yeah, this is like off the strength of just looking at, hey.
And also, I would say probably like, what, 4 years out still?
Oh,
probably?
Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Like, the next time we get a James Bond film probably won't be until like 2029. 2028.
Because when was the last one? Like last year?
No, the year before that. Because it came out before the Batman. The year before the Batman. So like 2019, 2020, which it was actually decent.
I was surprised that one came out because James Bond movies, typically with the actors, they do like 3 movies.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, I think it's like 3 movies they do, and then they usually pass it on to somebody else. But what's his name? Daniel Craig. He got like what, 4 movies, 5 movies out of it?
Yeah, that's only because I think a lot of it had a lot of stuff to do with, they wanted to make up for that Quantum Solace, which was a big debacle that was during the writer strike of that year, 2007, and they couldn't really. The writing was pretty bad on these last 007s. Let's just face it, and it went through production hell. So within that time, just think Daniel Craig has been James Bond for 10 years. 10 years.
That's a long time.
There's no James Bond has ever been a James Bond. There's nobody that has ever been a James Bond for that long. Right. Roger Moore, what's your boy name that passed away? He was James Bond.
Connery?
Sean Connery. He was never James Bond that long. And then of course you got your boy Pierce Brosnan. He was never James Bond that long. He did about 4 of them too. He did about 4 James Bond's movies. So the writing has been pretty terrible. I don't have a problem with James Bond. I just think that you have to have better writing if you're gonna do these James Bond, and give me better villains.
Yeah,
because
especially the last movie, it was just like Rami Malek.
Yeah, Rami Malek. And I'm just like, okay,
because
cool.
The other side of James Bond, right, is like the wacky villain.
The wacky villains, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So because you had like the guy with the jaw and the guy with the hat, I don't really know James Bond.
Well, you had Christopher Waltz. He was a villain in the Spectre and Skyfall. No, Skyfall, it was Javier Bardem. He was a bad guy. He had those teeth that could come out. He had those crazy teeth. But you got so many spy espionage movies. I feel like you really got to step your game up. Right. Mission Impossible's been kicking 007's ass for years.
Right. You got Mission Impossible. You got the Kingsman series, which kind of revamped the spy genre a little bit. I mean,
and then
The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
The Man from U.N.C.L.E. You got John. You had John Wick. Even though it's not spy, but it's still action packed.
Right.
It's just
dumb action movie.
Yeah. Like what are you doing different with this James Bond film that we haven't seen? Like James Bond attracts a very older crowd.
Right.
Obviously.
Right.
Mission Impossible attracts a very younger crowd. So that's why they're going for Aaron Taylor Johnson. And also too, I can look at the fact, the reason why they choose Aaron Taylor Johnson. I'm pretty sure he will take it if it's offered to him. I think he probably will take it off the credit of, hey, if the Sony deal falls through, I always got another franchise. Every young person wants to go another franchise.
Well, I mean, because that's what this article's about, right? It's just like him talking about franchises and stuff. And, I mean, he makes a comment about like why he chose Kraven, and it's because like the character interested him and all this stuff. And I mean, even I think there's a quote. There was a part of the article where he mentioned like it's too soon to tell or something with Kraven, obviously, because he was talking about franchises and like getting into new franchises and whatnot. And he's like, well, right now it's too soon to tell with this one.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look, I'm pretty sure he was a little worried when he saw what Madam Web just did. I'm pretty sure he's like, okay now. He's talking to his agent. Is like, hey, look, let's make sure that I can go somewhere else just in case this doesn't work out.
He's like, probably trying to remember the filming process. You're like, what was it like when I filmed that movie?
Yeah. So it's like, it's a lot of stuff that's probably went into his thought process. But if he does play James Bond, good for him.
I think he'll be good. Yeah.
I think he'll be really good at it. Yeah. As long as they do something different with it.
Yeah, and then one of the quotes was, we've all had enough of seeing certain studio films, a certain kind of pop culture, where they're churning out stuff that dilutes wanting to go to the cinema. I wouldn't have signed on to it if I felt like there wasn't something to really bring life with this character. That's talking about Kraven.
Yeah.
But then he's also like making a jab at...
He's taking a jab at Marvel.
Yeah.
He's taking a jab at Marvel. That's just what it is.
I think Marvel, and I think just like cash grabs in general.
Well, yeah.
I mean... even yeah. When I saw this article, I was like, James will get a kick out of this.
He kind of contradicting himself there a little bit, but
well, I mean, I think that's why he says it the way he says it.
Yeah,
but
I mean, look, I hope this movie I hope Kraven turns out to be good for him. If he can probably lift this film above the things that are not very good in the film, then it would help. I just think at this point, it would be better off for him. It'd be better served for him to go to this James Bond franchise and try to revigorate that. I think Sony's gonna try to go in another direction.
I mean, also, I don't think Craven's gonna get a sequel. We know Venom 3 is gonna be the last. Yeah. I think Venom 3 is probably gonna be the last Sony project for a while. Yeah. I mean, they'll switch their focus to the animation side just because the animation side they do better.
Which they do. They do great at it, man. They do great at it.
Yeah, and from early thoughts on Ghostbusters that comes out this week or today, I believe.
Yeah.
There's
mixed reviews. Yeah. Which I was scared of. I told you that from the jump.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, nostalgia will destroy us if the writing is not good.
Right.
You know, but I'm gonna watch the movie and give you a good review.
Right.
I'll give you a good review.
I mean, it's Ghostbusters, so it'll still be fun, but you're
right think about for the fans.
The nostalgia. I mean, the fans are always a problem. Honestly, the fan bases for anything is kind of the main
fandom
problem.
Fandom is always going to be a bad thing. But I feel like for Ghostbusters, I didn't really hear a lot of people talk about it when it was first announced anyway. Right. Like, oh, Ghostbusters. Oh, so what's on? What you got? I mean,
I've seen one article headline of a review, and it was just mentioning like this nostalgia kind of got in the way or whatever. But I didn't read the article. Obviously, I haven't seen the movie, so that's just my 2 cents on it.
Check it out.
Yeah,
give a full synopsis on it.
Right. The full quote I was looking for earlier, James, by the way, was. There's a story, the character, the role, and that's one thing. But then you also step into a world where you're dealing with a studio and a franchise or possible franchises. Though let's not get ahead of ourselves. So they're rolling the dice on me in a sense, which is a lovely thing. But you've got to appease the studio, please the audience, and do what's dignified for you as an actor. I find all of that super challenging. So that was the other piece of the quote where he's just talking about being Craven and stuff. So. Again, a hint at studio interference, though. You catch some of those words.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely you definitely get studio interference, but studio interference it's not nothing new. That's been for years. Like studio interference is not nothing new. That's not like a new word all of a sudden.
No, I mean there's always studio interference. I think it depends on like what level and what kind.
Yeah, because sometimes it's a good thing.
And what producer is coming at you for changes? Is it a producer who actually cares, or is it a producer who like? They're a producer in the sense that they gave money to the studios. Perfect
example. When Zack Snyder wanted to do something with a particular character in Batman vs. Superman, the studios had to step in and was like, no. Like, just no.
Like, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that. It's like, we're trying to sell toys here. And it's not even sell toys. He's just like, oh, that's stupid. That's a dumb idea. So sometimes studio interference can be a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah.
It just depends on what the story is and what the texture of the script is. That's why you have to have good writers.
Yeah.
So that way you can put out these good stuff and the studios don't have to get involved as much. You know, the studio's going to always get involved because there's money tied into this stuff.
Yeah.
They're the ones that's shoveling out this stuff. They're the ones shoveling out $2 million to put out these movies. I wish they would have. I wish studios would have got in on Indiana Jones and said, no, that crap. Don't get me started on that. So I hope everything works out for Aaron Taylor Johnson.
I'm sure. I think he'd make a great James Bond at the end of it.
I think he'd make I think he'd make a better James Bond than he would be a Craven.
Right. All right, we're here.
Oh boy,
we just pulled up.
I just pulled up to the mosquito trailer park. Got nothing but mosquitoes around this bad boy.
I think a tornado came through. There's a trailer missing.
Oh man.
So what do you want to start with? We got a lot of trailers today, James.
Yeah, we got Furiosa. I just thought about that off the top of the dome.
Yeah, Furiosa's the second trailer. We got The Crow.
We can talk. We can leave The Crow last.
You want to do Crow last?
That's a couple stuff I got on there.
All right, well, let's talk about Furiosa.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's get that one out the way.
So, I mean, it's Furiosa. It's Mad Max. It looks like Mad Max. there's not a whole lot of new things in this trailer.
A little bit.
There are some new
there
things,
are some
but
new stuff.
there's not a whole lot of new.
Yeah.
And it still looks great. I think we get a little bit more of a look at Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth and who he is in this movie.
Yeah, which there was a comment on the YouTube video that I watched for the trailer, and they were like, "Oh, it's good to see Chris Hemsworth being a whole villain, like actually like stepping into this villain role."
It is. It really is fun. He rarely ever get to play as a villain.
Yeah.
The last movie he played a villain in was this movie with Russell Crowe.
No,
was it Russell Crowe? Jeff Bridges. You know what I'm talking about?
Do I know what you're talking about?
It was like a God, man. Maybe you can look it up for me.
There was another movie on Netflix, the like Spider.
Well, yeah,
Spiderhead.
Yeah, Spiderhead too.
That's what I was thinking.
But it was another movie he was in that came out that was under the radar. It had Jeff Bridges in there, and Chris Hemsworth basically was like a cult leader, and all these people were following. He was like a hippie cult leader. He was a psychopath, and this dude was freaking crazy, man. And I'm like, man, it was a really, really good movie. And it didn't get a lot of praise in the movie theater.
I think I recall that movie. I just can't think. Oh wait,
he played like a real hippie psych. Is it in there?
Isn't that? Well, this is Bad Times at El Royale.
Yeah, that's it. Bad Times at El Royale. That's
is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I love that movie.
I never
man.
got to see it. I wanted to.
That was a good movie. Like Chris Hemsworth was creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. He just played like this creepy hippie cult leader, kind of like your boy. Well, obviously that was a kind of a take on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. From,
Charlie Manson.
Charles Manson. So that was kind of a creepy take on it.
Yeah.
But he was really, really good in that. So to see him in this movie too, Furiosa,
as a villain, yeah,
as a villain, and he just having fun
and full on like Australian, Australian as the day is long. You know,
I'm pretty sure you're happy about that.
Oh yeah.
Good. I don't have to do my voice.
Yeah, but I mean, he's also like exaggerating the Australian accent.
Oh yeah.
Like even the voice he's like speaking in. It's not Chris Hemsworth. He like pitches himself up a few octaves. So it's cool. What also got me was Furiosa's voice.
Yeah.
She sounded very close to like Charlize Theron, I think. Mm-hmm. And there was times where I'm like, is Charlize Theron just like narrating this? Like what's going on here? But yeah, her voice is really, really interesting. Like what they did with it or what she did with it. I assume she probably met with like some vocal coaches and whatnot for it. But
I also have a question too. And maybe it's just me. When she cuts her hair off, and you see like that glimpse of her with her head shaved.
Oh, the buzz cut? Yeah.
Is that a wig? Is that like a wig cap?
It's gotta be.
That's gotta be a wig cap, right? It's like
it doesn't look good.
That does not look good.
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one. I'm glad. Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page with that.
Yeah. I mean, they should have just like shaved her bald, like Charlize.
Yeah.
But,
well, I understand she probably didn't want to do that.
Yeah, probably not. But like sometimes you just got to do it.
Well, I mean, there are wig caps out there that can do it. Like Austin Butler in Dune, he had a wig cap on.
Yeah.
He didn't shave for that.
Yeah.
So it can be done for like.
Well, it's because her wig cap also still has hair.
Yeah, it still has hair,
and that's what's weird about it. It's like it's not a full like shaven head. It's like a buzz.
But I was like, man, that just looks bad.
It did look bad. Now the thing that interested me though is like the story is like her trying to get back to the green place, which they mention in Fury Road, but we know she doesn't get back there
because she ends up working with Immortal Joe.
Right. She ends up working with Immortal Joe, who looks like he's still like a villain in this movie as well, right? Because we see him, we see the bullet guy, we see the gas guy. Like there's a few like warlords that he's around in this trailer. It's like a small glimpse, but it's there. And we know Chris Hemsworth is a villain. I assume he's working with Immortal Joe.
Yeah, he probably betrays Immortal Joe.
Possibly, and maybe she's gonna like defeat him, and then she'll end up working for him. But I don't know. I know they're not going to do it, but I almost want this to just be like at the end of it, it's revealed that like it's the same story from Fury Road, just from like
a different perspective.
And it also ties into the fact that like Mad Max is kind of an enigma in the wasteland, right? Like the idea of like each Mad Max movie, besides the first one, because the first one's really canon, and then all the other ones are just kind of like these campfire stories that people are telling Mad Max. That's why there's no real connection between any of these films.
Mel
like
Gibson,
you can watch them anytime, right? You can watch Thunderdome first, you could watch Road Warrior first, you could watch Fury Road first, and you're not really missing anything in the Mad Max lore. He kind of explains it at the beginning of every movie. And so it would be neat if like this is the actual Fury Road story, and then what we saw in Mad Max Fury Road is just like the retelling. You know what I mean?
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
I think that would be kind of cool, and just like kind of like if you know kind of thing. They're not. They're really probably not going to do that. I don't see them doing that.
I don't know. I mean, with you thinking this, I would tend to maybe agree because I don't know.
Right.
Because they could go a million different ways, but this it's not like you and your Spider-Man conspiracy theories. Yeah. Like this here, I could actually.
Well, yeah, this is like actually knowing the lore of Mad Max. Like, this is, I can see them doing this, and also like George Miller. That
doesn't sound too far fetched,
right? I mean, George Miller is like on top of this the whole time. He's done all the Mad Maxes, right? It's literally his baby.
Yeah.
So I could see that being like a cool route they take, but I feel like you would just really have to know that fact to understand it.
True.
You know?
Well, I mean, I think Mad Max has a good fan base for the most part. It's more of an older crowd, of course. But I think with the last Mad Max movie that came out, that attracted a newer audience.
Right.
So you have a little bit of a mixture of everybody.
Right.
So it doesn't sound too far-fetched. I can see that maybe.
We'll see. We'll see when it comes out. I'm still excited for it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I definitely. That's one of my top 5 anticipated movies this summer.
Yeah.
So,
it'll be good. It's definitely a good one. What do you want to talk about next? You want to talk about Chaos? Have you seen that teaser for Chaos?
Is it Fallout?
No, it's not. It's KAOS.
No, I haven't seen the teaser for that.
It's a Netflix movie, or no, it's a Netflix series. That's what annoyed me this morning. I was looking into it, and it turns out it's a series. I thought it was going to be a movie, but Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah,
playing Zeus.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
he's playing Zeus, and I looked up the story, and apparently the story is he's Zeus.
Yep.
And one day he wakes up and he finds that he's got a wrinkle, like he's getting a wrinkle, right? And apparently there's like this prophecy that these 6 mortals are going to overthrow him, and he thinks because he's showing signs of aging, it's the beginning of the prophecy coming up. And I suppose he's going to be going after these mortals, or these mortals are going to be going after him, because like in the trailer there's a voiceover and it's like F the gods.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that. Yeah.
So it seems interesting.
It does.
And I mean I'm all for Greek mythology stories, right?
Greek mythology and Jeff Goldblum, sign me up.
I'm cool with it, but it's also cool to see him being an antagonist, and I hope they really play into him being more serious and not goofy. Because he's done so many goofy roles, as of recently.
Because in Thor Ragnarok, he was a villain, but he was a goofy
all
villain.
Silly, yeah.
He was all silly.
Completely.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm trying to remember what's the last serious movie Jeff Goldblum was in.
Right.
Other than The Fly? Other than The Fly, I mean...
Independence Day, like the first one, maybe a little bit. I don't know about the second one. I mean, Jurassic World... But even in Jurassic World, he was still kind of silly. He was just Jeff Goldblum, yeah.
Yeah, he had me roll. Like, he's the saving grace in that movie, big time, in Dominion. I hated Dominion, but he was the saving grace.
Yeah.
He had me laughing the entire time.
Right.
But it's very hard for him to play a serious role. Because he's such an enduring character.
Yeah.
And he's such an enduring person. So it's hard for him to see him play a bad guy, too.
Exactly.
So I'm very curious to see how he plays. It's not like Chris Hemsworth, where we're just happy to see him play anything.
Right.
Bad guy. Other than Thor, you just happy to see him play anything at this point. But with Jeff Goldblum, it's kind of hard to see him play the bad guy. So I definitely do want to see this movie. Well, show.
Yeah. Show, right? That's what bothered me. It's like, I would love to watch the movie. I don't want to watch like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Remember, side note, remember the Raising Dion show?
I've been Raising Dion. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan was like the producer of that show.
Was he now? Okay. Yeah. I was always interested in it, and then I found out it was a show. It was a show. Episodic, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to.
Yeah, man, Michael B. Jordan was one of the writer producers on that show.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, I'll watch a movie of this. I don't want to invest like 8 hours of my life into this.
Well, just another sidebar, and I don't want to keep going away from my trailers. Fallout, that's another show, and this will tie into exactly what I want to. Our next trailer with Acolyte.
Yeah.
This is tying into this. Fallout looks so good. And I've never played the game before.
Yeah.
But I have every intention on watching that. That trailer looks amazing.
Well, they took it from an approach of not fully trying to please the fans, but in a way where it's like they're not trying to do too many fan service things. They're like, we're taking the source material, we're going to make a show out of it, but we're not focused on doing like all the fan service, because they're like, we're never going to please the fans. There was a whole article about them just like, look, fan bases are fickle. We know we're not going to make them happy, so we're gonna do our best, and we're gonna make the show what it is.
Oh, I don't know about you, but I was hooked.
It looks great, right? Yeah, you got Walter Goggins playing a character, the Ghoul.
So good.
I mean, you have the Brotherhood of Steel coming in. You have the girl who just pops out of the vault. I think there's going to be a few different characters that they're going to follow and storylines that they're going to follow. But, I mean, Fallout's one of those things where it's like you can kind of... It's like Skyrim or Elder Scrolls where you play the game and there is like a main story, but you can join different factions. You can kind of make it what you want, right? So... I think they can really take it in any direction, and it'll be fine as long as they stay true to the source material. They're good.
I'm here for it, man. Like it looks good, looks genuine.
Yeah,
and it just really caught my attention.
Yeah,
and moving on to the next trailer, which was
you want to talk about Acolyte?
Yeah, this is gonna get it out the way because we pretty much talked about Star Wars last week.
Yeah,
but we just
I mean,
get your opinion on this trailer.
It looked fine to me, like that. That was my thought. It was like it looks fine. I've already said Star Wars I can take or leave.
Yeah,
Star Wars they could announce tomorrow they're not going to make any more Star Wars things. I'll be like, okay, you know what I mean?
I think it's just because I've just gotten older and I realized that this is not for me. This version of Star Wars is not for me.
The Acolyte?
Yeah, none of it's for me anymore. I just feel like none of it's for me. I loved Andor and I love Rogue One. But that's about it.
Yeah.
A lot of it, I just don't. I could just take it or leave it. Just like you said, take it or leave it. It does sound like an interesting premise.
It is.
Exploring the Dark Force.
It is. Well, it's what, somebody's hunting down Jedi or something, right?
This sounds an interesting premise.
Yeah. It sounds interesting.
At least.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to carve out my time when there's another show coming out when you got Fallout. Shogun on FX, which is amazing cinematography for a TV show. You got all these different things coming out.
But see, James, the difference. Okay, so the difference between Fallout and Star Wars for you. You don't know anything about Fallout.
True.
So you can sit down and watch it and have a good time with it.
True.
You know all kinds of stuff about Star Wars. So you might sit down and watch it and then just be irked the whole time, right? Because like maybe they don't get something right, or maybe they do something a little too different, or they go against the lore that
It's not about going against the lore. I'm all for different things. I'm not like, oh, wow. It's just
no. I mean, I'm just using examples.
Yeah, it's just the writing,
right? But you might be a little bit more judgmental towards it because you know it more. Fallout, you're probably gonna be like, okay, I don't know anything about Fallout, so I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna judge it based off of what I see. And yeah, I assume you would still critique the writing if it's bad writing or whatever.
Yeah,
but
without doubt.
I think you would be a little bit less harsh to it because it's an unknown to you versus Star Wars.
Well, it's unknown, and it's also too, just like you just said about Fallout, they're not doing a lot of fan service stuff.
They're not intentionally trying to do fan
service, and that's why I hate about Star Wars property. There's a lot of fan service and propaganda.
I think the problem is there's both too much fan service and then maybe not too little, but like I would say fan appeasing.
Way too much fan appeasing.
You know what I mean? It's not quite fan service, but it's too much of listening to your audience. And there's a certain degree where, yeah, you have to listen to what your audience wants, but also at the same time, you still have to make like a good story. Start episode 9, for example, where they just threw all the fan theories into one movie.
But we knew why they did that, though.
Yeah,
they were just. It was a cluster. It was just.
I mean, exactly. They didn't have it planned out. They didn't have any of that whole trilogy planned out, which is wild because this is essentially the same company that did, MCU. Yeah. Like from Iron Man 1 to Endgame, they had an outline, but like you couldn't outline these 3 Star Wars movies.
That's just 3 movies.
Yeah. I don't know. That one was kind of weird, but there is too much of just like fan appeasing. Not so much fan service, because fan service is all right, but fan appeasing, where it's like you're just listening to your audience too much, but then your audience has different voices. One person says this, another person says that, and you're trying to make everybody happy. You're not going to make everybody happy.
No, of course not. But I mean, the main
especially
thing,
Star Wars fans, they're never happy.
Well, I mean, it feels like they are. They just take everything. They just take anything, and they just say, "Oh, that's good." But it's just, I have a problem with too much nostalgia, and I just feel like Star Wars is a franchise that never gets away.
There needs to be healthy levels.
It needs to be healthy level nostalgia, and also too, can we just get away from the legendary characters and just have just new characters, new characters that people can grasp on.
Which that's what was cool about the Mandalorian, right? The Mandalorian for season 1, especially because it's just like, okay, cool, completely stepped away from Skywalkers and legendary characters or whatever. Season 2, I think they did the Boba Fett thing, or was it season 1 they teased Boba Fett?
I think it's season 1.
Maybe so. But that was fine because he wasn't actually in it. Yeah. But season 2 was when he was in it. That's right. Yeah, because in season 1, Mandalorian goes to that town and there's that one guy with the Boba Fett armor, and then it's revealed he somehow got out of the pit. But yeah, season 2 is when they did like Ahsoka and like Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker coming at the end.
But even then with that, it's just like, okay, you did something good with that, but then you go completely off the reservation. Start introducing Baby Yoda, because I don't care what you say, that's Baby Yoda.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, here we go again. And then they pulled this BS with Obi-Wan. Princess Leia, didn't need her. You did not need a baby Princess Leia, a child like Princess Leia, to have Obi-Wan chasing her around, because you're trying to appease a fan base.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that portion of the story.
No one did.
I think I just watched like half. I fell asleep in the first episode and never went back to it because, I mean, again, Star Wars, take or leave. But it just didn't appeal to me.
I just thought that was so lazy.
Because you would think like an Obi-Wan show, you would show, I don't know, him doing adventures on Tatooine or whatever. But
that's what everybody thought.
Yeah,
and then
I guess a desert planet is too boring of a setting for a whole show.
So let's have him go around chasing a little child.
Yeah. I mean, his job was to watch over Luke, but I mean, I don't know. You could have done something where, Vader was sending people after, like scouting out for Luke, right? So the whole time, like Obi-Wan could have. I don't know.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah,
that sounds good to me. I would have watched that instead of watching him chase around a little Princess Leia. It's like, here we go, and at that point, that show died. Yeah, it did good from the first episode that you fell asleep on. And then from there, it just died right after that.
Yeah. Well, because, I mean, everyone was excited for an Obi-Wan. Like, because they've been trying to do an Obi-Wan project for years. Even before they did the TV shows, like, there was always, like, maybe an Obi-Wan movie because Obi-Wan's such a popular character and all these things. And, I mean, there's enough gap of time between episode 3 and 4 to where you can have a decent Obi-Wan story without having the Skywalkers involved.
Yeah. Well, Ewan McGregor said he wants to come back for another one.
Yeah.
But I don't think they get another one. I really don't. I think that it was bad received already, so I think they're like, yeah, we're good. We're good here. But I might watch the show. I might give it. I keep getting the name wrong for some reason.
Acolyte.
Yeah. I might watch the show. I give it like 1 or 2 episodes, and after that, I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
I may watch it. I may not. I don't know.
There you go.
There you go. But I mean, the trailer looked fine to me. That's what we're talking about. We're just talking about the trailers. It looked fine.
That's pretty much all. You pretty much summed up all the Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. So here's one that's interesting. Harold and the Purple Crown.
Crown.
I
see. You call it crown? You call it crown?
So what do you know about Harold and the Purple Crown?
Isn't it based on a children's book? Yeah. That's all I know. That's all I really know. If I'm just being totally honest.
A children's book from the 1950s, James.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember it, though. I think they had a cartoon show at some point.
I remember that picture.
Yeah, right? The kid with the crown?
Yeah, with the crayon.
And I mean, well, when we were children, or when I was a child, we had Chalk Zone.
Yeah.
Which is basically the same thing.
Pretty much the same thing, yeah.
Right, on Nickelodeon, I think, the kid would draw something with chalk, and they would show up in the Chalk Zone and stuff. So this movie...
You kind of look like him a little bit. You kind of look like the kid a little bit.
Almost. Maybe that's probably where I got inspiration from. But so this movie, produced by Sony, your favorite film company.
I mean, I don't have a problem with Sony. I just have a problem with their comic book stuff.
Well, but I mean,
I like them.
So Zachary Levi, Shazam himself, is the lead of this movie. I don't know what to say.
You ready to start? Oh, okay. So when I saw the trailer and I saw the kid, I was like, "Oh man, this is good. That's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool." Then when I saw Zachary Levi step foot into this universe, I'm like, "This is Shazam all over again."
That's another thing. It's another one of those movies where it's like they go from a cartoon world to a real world.
Fish out of water.
Yeah, fish out of water.
I love those fish out of water stories, man.
But yeah, Zachary Levi, I guess he's Harold in the Purple Crown, and he's in the real world drawing purple things. I don't know the conflict of this movie. I don't know if there is a conflict to the movie. I assume the government finds out that he's got a crown and they want it or something.
Well, you know, some bad guy's gonna want the crayon. He's gonna start drawing up a whole bunch of stuff that's gonna be attacking the city.
Yeah,
but it's just like, let me ask you this: do you think that this is the niche that Zachary Levi is good at?
Is he falling into the childish, like man-child character?
Is that what he's good at?
It seems like it, right? Because, I mean, Shazam 1, Shazam 2, and now this one.
He did that movie about the football player, Kurt Warner, which was a serious movie, which he actually did nice in that.
Let's look at his filmography, James.
Yeah, let's look at that. Because I'm starting to think, man. I'm starting to just kind of wonder now.
As of recently. Oh, God, he was on The Masked Singer.
Yeah, he was on Masked Singer. But it really feels like it. What you got?
So his latest movie was Chicken Run: Dawn of the Nugget,
which was Ash.
He voiced Rocky.
Yeah. Interesting.
He was in Spy Kids Armageddon. And then before that, he was in Shazam: Fury of the Gods. He was on a Night of the Museum animated show.
Oh, I know they had an animated show of that.
I didn't know that. Man. Apollo 10.5: A Space Age Childhood, which is another animated thing. A coming of age comedy drama film. That's a lot of genres in one, isn't it?
It is.
Coming of age comedy drama. American Underdog. That's your football movie.
That's the football movie, which he actually did good in.
Yeah. The Mauritanian.
Never saw it.
Legal drama. But he's got some dramas in here between Shazams.
It just seems like this is his niche of playing a man-child, that man-child type role. And maybe, you know, he has kids, so he probably, his kids love it. But it's just like, I'm keeping it real with you. This is a movie I'm not watching.
I'm not watching it either. I'm
not watching it.
I just saw the trailer this morning because I was looking at all kinds of like trailers. Yeah. And I was like, oh.
I'm going to keep it real with you. Like, this movie's going to bomb within 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. This is a cash grab is what this is. It's not even a cash grab. Who's coming to see this movie?
Yeah, no one's coming to see that movie.
Coming to see Harold. It's an August movie, right? So this is after all the summer blockbusters. This is right before school. This is like, take the kids out one more weekend to go see this movie.
And then that's it. I mean...
And then you're going to forget about it. It's like, it'll be a cult classic for the next generation.
It'll hit streaming as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
It'll hit streaming immediately. It'll be on Netflix.
It would probably work better as a Disney film. Or not a Disney film. It would probably work better as a Christmas film.
It works better as a streaming film.
I mean, all films work better as a streaming film.
No, not all films work as a streaming film, but like Roadhouse. Roadhouse should have been in movie theaters.
Yeah.
But this movie here is a straight streaming movie. And I just think this is where his niche is.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not careful, that's where he's going to fall under, right?
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Because if those are the roles that you're remembered for, that's what you're going to be. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm worried about with Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
With
Beetlejuice
and Wednesday. They came out with the photos from Beetlejuice. A little sidebar. We'll get back to the trailers, but like they came out with the photos for Beetlejuice 2, and it shows her next to Winona Ryder, and like she just looks like Wednesday.
Yep. Yeah. And Catherine O'Hara,
the mom, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, I'm afraid she's gonna fall into that gothy, like niche role.
Maybe that's what she likes.
I mean, maybe, but like that, you're gonna typecast yourself real fast. I mean, the whole reason she's in Beetlejuice 2, let's be honest, is because of Wednesday.
Yeah, it's because of Wednesday. Yeah, no doubt about that.
You know, and obviously she took it because it's a big movie role, but it's not like she hasn't been in big movies before.
I mean, even
she's been in the Screams. Yeah. She was in that X movie, which I was surprised that she was in the X movie. I don't know, like it looked like her, but I didn't think it was her.
Yeah, I didn't think it was her either.
And then I was looking up the cast, and I was like, oh, it's Jenna Ortega. That's interesting.
Yeah, but no, she looks okay in there. I like. Yeah. Hopefully that trailer drops next week. I heard that trailer supposed to go.
Hopefully so. I'm excited to see it.
It got delayed. It was supposed to drop the day before yesterday.
Oh, man. That would have been so good for this segment.
It would have been nice.
Because either that movie is going to be the same as the first, like literally same plot, but just like Jenna Ortega, or it's going to be something actually different and new to Beetlejuice. Because, I mean, honestly, there's nothing to the first Beetlejuice movie.
Well, what you're saying is it going to fall into the same category that we get with Ghostbusters and Roadhouse and all these other type of movies? Is it going to be something original?
Right.
That's what you're saying.
An original take from an older franchise, or are you just gonna be like, hey, Beetlejuice 2, it's the same plot from Beetlejuice.
Hey, remember this?
Yeah.
Hey, remember this? Nostalgia.
Yeah, exactly. We just did the same movie over again.
Go on and get some of this nostalgia, Jacob. Give me a nostalgia hug.
Yeah, right.
I'll give you a nostalgia hug. From what I heard, everyone's back in the movie, including Alec Baldwin. So I'm curious how that's gonna go.
What is he doing in there?
Because remember, Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin died. They were the house.
That's Alec Baldwin?
Yeah.
What the heck? Time has not been good to him.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Oh, we know that. Yeah, we know that.
Crap. Are you serious?
Oh yeah, that was him. Maybe I might be wrong.
You gotta be wrong. You no Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice.
You gotta be wrong.
Yep. I know that. Yeah. Trust me, man. I used to watch that movie all the time on VHS.
I think we've got it on DVD like twice.
Love that movie. I love Beetlejuice. Sad part about it, the crazy thing about it, Beetlejuice is not even in the movie until like the last 30 minutes of the film.
Right, and he's the antagonist.
Yeah, and he's the antagonist.
He's the bad guy.
Yeah, he's the bad guy. Did you ever watch the cartoons?
Yeah, I remember the cartoons, but I was about to say, which is weird, because if you saw the cartoons, you wouldn't think that way. Mm-hmm. You'd be like, oh, they're friends.
Well, I read something about that too, by the way. They changed his character around for the cartoon.
Yeah, it makes sense, because how else are you going to sell a cartoon?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I guess you could still make him the bad guy in the cartoon, but maybe not.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see like what the sequel is about. Maybe they will take the cartoon route and just kind of like make him more of a friend to Jenna Ortega, and then there's like an actual antagonist, because there's no like he's the only antagonist in the first movie.
Yep.
Besides the sandworms.
He's trying to marry Lydia.
Yeah, which is weird.
I like trying to marry an underage girl.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we doing now?
I don't think, you know what? I don't think they're going to do the same plot.
Yeah, it's like,
I don't think that's happening.
Trying to marry an underage girl?
Yeah, like, I don't think they're going to go back to that. But
it was so crazy.
Moving on back to trailers, James, before we get to The Crow, I got some other things on here. Chandler Riggs, Coral from Walking Dead. Carl, the Carl guy.
Oh, okay.
The joke is Rick calls him Coral, right? So Chandler Riggs is in a Spider-Man fan film, which is apparently going to be like a horror movie. And there's a teaser for it, but it just shows him like sticking to the wall and then running across a rooftop and jumping over it. But it's like a fan film. And it's interesting to me because when they started doing the Spider-Verse comics, like the first Spider-Verse comics, they had Edge of Spider-Verse, which was 5 issues. And that's where they introduced all these new Spider-Verse characters. That's where you get Spider-Gwen. That's where you got Penny Parker, the Spy SP / /DER, the one from the Spider-Verse movie, the one with the little robot.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was trying to like.
I got you.
Her name's weird. It's literally like SP, and then there's like 2 backslashes, and then DER.
That's weird.
Yeah, but that's where you get her. That's where there's this one character, Dr. Aikman. He was a Spider-Man, but he ended up getting caught by the Morlun, the vampire people in the books. But there was another one where it was basically a Peter Parker, but he was, instead of growing up with like a loving family, he grew up with an abusive uncle.
Ooh, that sucks.
And he gets bit by the spider, but instead of getting like full like Spider-Man powers, basically he becomes a human spider. Right? Like so he starts off like eating small creatures and stuff. And then eventually he eats his uncle. And then the end of it is like he I think he goes to kill Mary Jane, but then again, like the interdimensional like vampire people, Morlun and his family, they come in and they get him before he can get Mary Jane. That's how the comic ends. He gets killed by the intergalactic spider eaters. Whatever. Spider-Verse is a weird comic. Like it's a weird story. It's hard to explain.
It sounds like it.
The actual source material is harder to explain than the movie they did, which is probably a good reason they went that way. But so I'm interested to see if this fan film is like their take on that.
It's gonna be on YouTube
issue. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a YouTube thing.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it was just interesting to me. It's like, oh, cool. If like you're gonna do like a horror story, just do that. Just do the Peter Parker who was abused and he like becomes a spider.
That'll be interesting. Yeah. That's at least something different.
It's weird that Chandler Riggs is involved with it though, because it's like a fan thing. Yeah. And I guess he's been out of acting since like the Walking Dead days.
We've been doing too much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he got screwed over on that deal because he turned 18 and then they fired him from the show. Yep. Yeah. And he just bought a house in Georgia and they tried to flip it to be like, oh no, he wanted to leave.
I don't think he wanted to leave. I think you guys let him go, but okay.
Yeah. But back then, Walking Dead was real bad. Like, that's how they fired you. Is like you come in and got your script, and you're like, "Oh, I'm dying this week."
Yep, I remember those days.
Yeah,
I remember those days.
yeah. So I just wanted to touch on that because I thought it was interesting, and given
Did they say when it's coming out?
no, it's just like a small little teaser thing.
Oh, okay.
So, and like I said, given the source material that I think it might be from, I think it could be like a cool like little short film or whatever.
Okay.
And then we have another one called Sweet Dreams.
What's that?
It's Johnny Knoxville. Well,
oh yeah, I seen the trailer for that. Yeah, it's basically like a rehab movie, which is based on true life.
Yeah, it seems like a dark comedy or a black comedy.
It's like dark black comedy,
right? Because it's not completely serious, but there's a bunch of comedians in it, right? You got Bobby Lee, you got Theo Vaughn, obviously Johnny Knoxville, and a few other people in the movie. But basically, yeah, they're at a rehab center and they put together a little softball team. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's gonna have like some like Bad News Bears elements to
Kinda,
it,
yeah.
And just any rehab sports movie.
got Kate Upton.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Kate Upton, isn't it? It looks good to me. I don't know. I watched it. I got some chuckles out of it, and also it's also neat to see Johnny Knoxville in serious roles as well.
And sober.
Yeah, sober, serious roles.
Yeah, and because I'm pretty sure it's gonna have some pretty poignant and sad scenes and stuff like that. So it's not gonna be just all jokes and gags and stuff like that. It's gonna be some serious stuff going on because at the root of the movie is about rehab and about recovery.
Yeah.
And stuff like that, so which is very important.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely want to check it out. But I love Johnny Knoxville.
And it also made me think of The Ringer from back in the day.
You remember Jerry Springer?
No, The Ringer. You don't remember this movie? Hold on.
The Ringer. I thought you were talking about the Jerry Springer movie. I was like, Jerry Springer movie?
This one. I think it was also Johnny Knoxville. Yeah, it was Johnny Knoxville. So this movie is he basically infiltrates like the Special Olympics. So he's working with a bunch of Down syndrome people, and he's trying to win the Special Olympics. Definitely
can't do that no more.
Definitely an aged comedy.
What year?
2005, sir.
Oh,
those early 2000s properties, man. They're very
hell yeah.
They're very hard to. It's hard to revisit.
Oh man, you can't no way in hell do that movie. Woo!
But yeah, it kind of reminded me of that, but it's like a more grown up, like mature version. I mean, obviously there's no special needs people in this movie.
Well, Woody Harrelson already did a movie pretty much kind of like The Ringer, but it was serious though.
Yeah, that's right.
But
it was a basketball movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but he learns a lesson at the end of this movie. There's some feel good. I don't know. I haven't seen it in years.
I haven't seen it. I've never seen that movie before.
Really?
I wasn't big on like. How can I say this? I wasn't good. I just wasn't good on that type of funniness to me.
Yeah.
I just seemed like it's
it's niche comedy, right?
Backwoods, corny comedy to me at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Like this kind of fits in that realm of those like Not Another Teen Movie. Stuff like that, epic movie,
almost, but like a little bit better than those.
Yeah,
those are
of course,
bottom of the barrel.
Those are bottom of the barrel. But you know what I mean. It's just like, I'm good. But I'm pretty sure it lived up pretty good. That definitely doesn't hold up pretty good. That's for damn sure.
No,
it definitely does not hold up at all.
Definitely, I don't know if you can even find this anywhere.
Hell no, hell no. I'm pretty sure they buried this movie.
Which is funny considering Johnny Knoxville has all the Jackass stuff. He's like, no, know me for that.
But I'm pretty sure
go look up
even with this, he's just like, I'd rather not even want to talk about this.
Right?
Like I was drunk. I was not even sober when I did that. I was on drugs when I did this movie. So
it's available on Fandango at home and Amazon Prime Video and YouTube. Not for free. You have to pay for this.
Yeah. How many stars? Oh, that bad boy got 2 stars, 3.5 stars.
Those are reviews.
But I definitely want to check out Sweet Dreams.
It does look good. So
it looks good.
So The Crow.
Oh well, hold on. I want to talk about Alien.
Oh, Alien.
Yeah,
I forgot. Yeah. So Alien.
Oh, I thought you were gonna click on I thought you were gonna type it in.
Oh, you want me to type it in?
Yeah. Because this one is pretty much. I think this one takes place after or before. No, yeah, after.
It's between 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because with the best ones, 1 and 2 were the best aliens, and then after that they decided to do Alien versus Predator. They decided to do all these other Alien movies.
Those are just for funsies, you know.
Oh yeah, it was definitely for funsies and horribleness too.
Yeah. What did you think of Prometheus?
I thought it was okay. It was a good little starting point to start over again.
Right. And what did you think of Alien Covenant?
Did not like it.
Why didn't you like it?
Did not like it. I have to go back and watch it again. I have to go back and watch my review. No, seriously, I have to go back and watch my review on it again because I did talk about that movie a lot with somebody that I was at work with at the time. Just the prosthetics of the alien. I also didn't like the characters. None of the characters were very enduring. The story was boring. I did not like that movie.
I liked it as a follow-up to Prometheus.
Yeah.
Because you get a follow-up on the robot guy. Mm-hmm. You get what he's up to. And he's such a menacing villain in that series when you think about it. Because he's just experimenting on crap. Like, he's just doing a bunch of, like, creepy stuff. So I liked it as a follow-up. And I was kind of upset when they were like, oh, yeah, we're not going to continue. Like,
well, that's kind of like how they did Predators. You know, remember Predators? That movie, everyone liked Predators. Everyone was on this island.
Planet?
Yeah, on the planet.
It was
and they didn't follow up to that. They didn't do a follow up to that one.
No, they did Prey, but Prey was good.
Yeah, Prey was good.
Yeah,
and I think that's what this one falls in kind of in line with. You know,
you're right. I mean, it does look good. Like you said, it's back to basics. It's
back to basics,
space horror and stuff. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, James, like, how many more of these alien movies can you do if the setting's the same every time?
Oh, you can do a crap load of them. If the story was good, if the story is good, you can do a crap load of them. Just like with Prey and Predator.
Yeah, but at least with Predator and Prey, Prey took it to like the American Indian, or Native American side. But Aliens, how many more of these like set on a dark spaceship movies?
Well, I'm pretty sure you can do some more that can take place off the spaceship, but the writing has to be good.
Right.
You know, the writing has to be there.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I would like to see, because like this just looks like the first one and the second one over again. It's like, well, we've seen those movies.
It does, but at the same
I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I'm just saying like how it looks to me is just.
Well, I mean, sometimes you got to take it back to a basic foundational piece. Like you have to sometimes, because it goes off the reservation when you do. And I think Alien versus Predator, those movies, while they were one-off movies, they still did damage. They did irreparable harm in the Alien franchise. Those movies did irreparable harm. This is why they started with Prometheus.
Right.
Those movies did horrible. So that's why they started over. And like I said, this trailer was very good. Teaser, I mean.
No, it was a great teaser.
And this is not even Ridley Scott doing it this time. It's for Finis Alfred.
I mean, Ridley Scott did give his approval for it.
Like, yeah, he's a producer on it.
Yeah, he gave. Well, I mean, even when he saw the trailer, he was like, "This is fantastic."
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It looks great, and I'm surprised.
Yeah,
I'm surprised because
and I'm sure it's going to be great. It's just, when you think about, when you say back to basics, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's cool that they're going back to basics, but how do you explore new elements of a franchise?
Well, this is what this one is for. So you can do that. Like, you can't explore something new if the other ones were already jacked up. They jacked up everything, like Ghostbusters.
Right.
Ghostbusters went back to the country, and they went to the country with this one because they had no choice, because the other Ghostbusters movie did so horrible.
Yeah.
And then even the original Ghostbusters 2, that did horrible.
Yeah.
So they're like, okay, let's take it back to a foundational piece. What's another movie that took place back to a foundation? It's not on top of my head. I think it was like a drama. It was a drama or an action movie, and it went back to the basic foundations of what made that franchise, what made a franchise enduring. And sometimes you have to do that. And then after you solidify that movie and you solidify this foundational piece, then you can start going on to the next one, and you can get off the spaceship.
Yeah,
you probably do something on a planet. You can do something on Earth.
Right.
But you have to do this. You have to do it. It was a must. It was a must. Because like I say, Alien Covenant, man, while you may have liked it, it was a lot of people did not like that.
I mean, I'm not fighting.
Yeah, it was
I'm not fighting for it or anything.
It was pretty tough. It was pretty tough watch. It was a pretty tough watch. I did like Prometheus though. And even that one did. Even a lot of people didn't like Prometheus either.
Right.
So it's always been hard. It's been hard for Alien for a minute. It's been hard for this. It's been hard for this franchise for a long time. It's not like Predator.
Yeah.
Where Predator has 1 and 2, well, 1 mainly, with Arnold Schwarzenegger to rely upon.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I just think like, okay, you do this one and you do a sequel that tries to introduce new elements, and if people hate it again, do you just go back to the spaceship?
No,
Like, how many more of these spaceship movies are we gonna get? You know what I mean? How many dark spaceship horror movies can we watch?
We'll see. We'll see. Like I say, it depends if the people like it. And then, like I say, Alvarez, I've never been a big fan of him because he's done a couple movies that I thought was complete ass.
Yeah.
Evil Dead was horrible. The one that came out in 2013. That's the reason why we got Evil Dead Rises. Because that one that came out in 2013 was terrible.
Right.
Don't Breathe was great. I love Don't Breathe.
Yeah, Don't Breathe was good.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, garbage.
Oh, he did that one?
Garbage, yep.
Oh.
But garbage.
That was bad.
Oh, that was really bad. Don't let me get started on that rant.
Yeah.
Because I told you about that movie when we were working together.
Yeah. That was not a good movie.
Oh man, those characters were terrible.
Yeah.
So hopefully this movie actually does pretty good for him. Did you like those the girl with the spider tattoo?
I never saw it.
Yeah, that was a good one. I like that one. Between Don't Breathe, the first Don't Breathe, and Girl with the Spider Web.
The first Don't Breathe was good. I don't know why they made a sequel.
Yeah, the second was
I
terrible. And then you try to make him a hero.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
You talking about the guy that tried to rape the girl?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Like, why would I want him to be a hero?
Right? It's weird. But I mean, and look, I'm sure I'm pretty sure Alien Romulus is gonna be great. It's just
I think so. It's gonna be
I just think in terms of like where you take the series and how you take the series and then how many more back to basics movies. And it doesn't just end with Aliens, it's all the other franchises.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like how many back to basic movies can you do until eventually you just maybe stop doing the franchise?
Well, yeah, typically, Jacob, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Just don't stop doing them.
Yeah.
Just stop doing them altogether.
Yeah.
No one asked for this.
Right.
You know, so that's some of your complaint right there.
Yeah.
If you really want to be honest. So yeah, we'll see. So now we can get to your crow, sir.
My crow. It's your crow.
Yeah, it is my crow because I have a lot of thoughts on Crow.
Yeah. Okay. So what did you think of the trailer?
Okay, you say you never saw the first one, right?
I never saw the original.
Okay, I would implore you. So earlier, you talked about Fallout, and you said that I have no connection to Fallout.
Yeah.
Which I don't. What did you think of the trailer? I'm gonna throw it back to you first.
As someone who hasn't seen the
Who
original,
has never seen the original, have no ties to it, no nothing.
I thought the trailer looked action packed. Well, not action packed per se, but like the stuff I saw in the trailer did look good. I liked the shootouts and the actions or the ideas presented in the trailer. Like it looked like a good movie or a fun movie, I should say. I don't want to say good, but fun. His makeup still is weird. I don't know why they went that route, but yeah,
That's all you got.
that's all I got, man.
Okay.
I don't have a critical analysis of the trailer. It's just like I watched it. I was like, you know what? Just as someone who hasn't seen the movie, it looks like an enjoyable watch.
I want you to watch that. I want you to watch the movie when you get a chance.
Yeah.
And I want you to come back and watch. I want you to watch the trailer again.
Yeah.
I don't have a critical analysis of it. Okay. I'm never a type of person. Sometimes I feel like you can do a remake. Then sometimes I feel like you should leave a thing alone.
Right. I mean, I don't think they should have remade this movie.
Well, yeah, without a doubt. Well, what made the first Crow so incredible was the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
The Batman, everything you saw in the Batman,
Yeah.
the Crow already did that.
Yeah.
Like that atmosphere, the city,
Yeah.
it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Now I don't know anything about the comics. I know some of the stuff about some of the lore about the comics.
Yeah.
It's more of a mystery.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know a lot about Eric Dravenson. You don't know a lot about this character. So it's like you're trying to find out why he died. Well, trying to find out how to get these powers. Did he get it from the Crow? Did he get it from somewhere else? Did it come from hell? So the mystery of that movie is what made that movie so special.
Mm-hmm. And in this trailer, they kind of,
they're starting to flush out a little bit more, which is okay. What I do like about the trailer is that they showed the relationship between him and his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And it shows, she got herself in some trouble. And then now, this is what happens.
Yeah.
And then it looks like it delves a lot more into religion, satanic things. You had the guy that whispered in her, the little random girl's ear.
Yeah.
And then she sees it, boom, boom. Then that's when the story goes on. Okay, so when I saw the trailer, I immediately said to myself, this is definitely a 2024 movie. You can tell by the music.
Oh yeah.
You got Post Malone. Oh, yeah. You got Post Malone.
Post Malone and Ozzy.
Yeah, and Ozzy and Travis Scott. I'm like,
yeah,
this is definitely 2024.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the one from 1994, it has
very
totally different type of stuff. So you already dated yourself.
Yeah.
And what I hate that this movie has to do, it has to compete with the other 1994 movie. And it's just, I hate that so much, man.
I'm surprised they fully were able to make it in the first place.
Yeah, well, this has been going through hell. This has been going through hell for coming out.
Which is normally a bad sign for movies.
Oh yeah,
right? When they go through so much to like development hell, it's like, okay, this might not be so good. Danny Houston was the one I was surprised to see in this movie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what
he's a villain.
I think he's a villain.
I think he's a whole villain, but I was surprised to see him as the villain.
I guess he's playing like a satanic person, the devil maybe, whispers in the girl's ear.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it has a lot to live up to, man. It has a lot to live up to.
Yeah, I mean, it's never going to.
It is not. It's not. It is not. I mean, the pictures were just awful, god awful.
This is it's not a good first image to show.
That's not a good first good image to show. And I'm pretty sure Sony was like,
and honestly, in the trailer, he looked better than this image.
Yeah,
like because he's wearing a jacket. Mm-hmm. He's not really like all tattooed out.
I will say, watching the trailer, I did like it.
Yeah, see.
But the thing about it is, when you
just have that constant comparison.
It's that constant comparison that's going to be there.
It's one of those things where it's like you just have to drop that because it's not.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But if the constant comparison is going to be there, it just shouldn't have been made.
Yeah, well, yeah. And
that's just the whole thing in a nutshell. Sometimes I just feel like some movies you have to leave alone.
Yeah.
Like some movies I feel like never can be remade, and then I feel like some movies that can't be touched. And I feel like that 1994 Crow was such an unbelievable movie, an unbelievable story, that I feel like, okay, why would you want to touch that and do it again?
You know what they should start doing, James? They should start doing like elections for movies.
They should.
It's like every year, it's like, all right, we put it up to a vote. We have these 10 franchises we're looking at making.
They should. They
like,
really should.
Who wants this? It's a democracy.
I swear to you, it'll be just like the current election that's coming up. So I don't think you want that.
Because it's like, all right, who wants to see a Star Wars sequel? Who wants to see this? Like I don't know. There's like every Oscars or whatever. Just like at the end of it, there's like this huge vote where it's like,
maybe they should, man.
Here's the movies we're gonna work on in the next like 5 years or whatever. Like you got to do it like every chunk of years, right? You can't every year it because movies take time.
Oh yeah.
And then, we should try to implement that.
And then also too with the soundtrack of Crow, you had 9 Inch Nails, you had all these different bands that was on there, and the songs actually fit with the atmosphere of the movie.
Right.
So every song fits.
Well, because they're like that grungy, grungy rock like. Heavy period. I mean, like nowadays we don't really have like grunge isn't a huge genre at all anymore, right? So it's hard to find grunge where that's where you get your Post Malone, Ozzy track. Which I mean, Post Malone is not a bad artist, but not to a Crow movie.
Yeah, like when I heard that little auto tune, I said, oh man, I said, God, boy, you just dated yourself.
Yeah.
You just dated yourself now.
To be fair, though, Post Malone could probably do like a grunge album because he's very versatile.
I think he could.
Yeah, and honestly, they could have just hired him and be like, hey, can you make us some grunge music? And he probably would have done it.
I think he could.
Because I've seen him do all kinds of different genres.
Yeah. And look, Skarsgård, he did look good in the leather jacket.
Yeah.
I did like him moving around the city and stuff like that.
I'm sure his acting is going to be fine because he's normally pretty good in all the movies he's in.
Yeah, he'll be fine. I worry. I worry. And Sony moving up Bad Boys to the same day as The Crow, that lets me know that line that Sony feels like, we got a banger.
Oh yeah,
we got we're good. We're good, Jacob.
Unnecessary reboot or unnecessary sequel?
Yeah, but
unnecessary sequel with Will Smith, of course.
Look, I mean,
also Crow is like very obscure.
It's a very obscure thing.
Very obscure, very niche, very like if you're gonna redo it, an indie studio should have rebooted it.
Oh yeah,
because they probably would have took more time and care and effort into it than a Lionsgate.
Yeah, I feel like too. Sony just feels like this is a movie that we can beat opening weekend. This is a movie that
Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, that's all it takes. I mean, honestly, if I say Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, they'll pack in as much tickets as you possibly can get your hands on.
Yeah,
Like this movie is not going to pack them in.
No.
Like even the hardest core Gothic is not going to watch this movie.
No.
They just
But the goths out there that are going to be into this are going to have a field day because there was a lot of stuff in that movie where it's like, oh yeah, this is going to be somebody's new Joker.
Oh yeah,
new Joker meme.
Well, so
the Crow.
The Florida Joker is pissed off.
He's mad at this Grand Theft Auto. Yeah.
Well, he's mad at the Crow now.
Is he mad at the? Yeah. He's just trying to be more famous. That's all.
He said, "Hey, y'all need to call me. We need to get some money." He's legit upset at the Crow. He's like, because people were saying the comparisons look like the Florida Joker. I don't see it, but
he's also on drugs.
Like the Florida Joker.
Oh man.
Man, that was hilarious.
That's it. That's it for the trailer park. Huh?
Yeah, that's it for the trailer park.
Well, let's get out of here before we get out of here.
Before we get shot by the Florida Joker. That's the Florida Joker right there. That's the Florida Joker right there. He heard us laughing at him.
Oh no. He almost got us.
Have you seen the Florida Joker?
I've seen the Florida Joker.
God, man, he looks horrible.
Yeah.
First he had a beef with Grand Theft Auto, now he got a beef with the Crow.
Yeah, I mean, he's just trying to get some extra money, right?
Some extra money. He trying to get some money, period.
Yeah.
Some extra money.
Face tattoos aren't cheap.
Oh, who you kidding? He probably got that for free from a friend.
We should stop talking about him. He's going to come after us next.
Yeah, right. It'll be like them gunshots. Pow, pow.
But, I mean, with all that being said, I think that's all the news we got, right?
Yeah, I think that's all the trailers and stuff.
That's it. We had a trailer-packed, action-packed episode today, James. Just all trailers.
Well, the summertime's almost here. So, movies going to start coming out a lot more.
It's going to get heavy. There were even more trailers that I saw, and I was like, I can't include this many trailers.
Yeah.
It's too many.
Well, what other trailers did you see?
I can't remember them off my head. Why are you going to put me on the spot like that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had them ready.
No.
I thought maybe you had them in like a little box or something.
No. I said there was too many.
Oh, okay.
But, hey, if you want to contact us, you can contact us at onthegopod2023@gmail.com. You can email us questions, comments, concerns. We didn't get an email from our loyal listener this week, and I'm very upset. Very upset we didn't get an email, James.
We'll probably get one next week.
We should. I hope so. If you're out there and listening, please send us an email.
Yeah.
You can find us on Instagram at onthegowithjacob and James, all one word. You can find James on Instagram at
9794.
You can find me on Instagram at jacobdantone.audio. You can also find us on YouTube, On the Go with Jacob and James. It's all in one word. So if you, for some reason, don't like Spotify or iHeartRadio, you can listen on YouTube. And yeah, that's all we got. So without further ado, I'm on the go. James is on the go. We're all on the go. Bye, guys.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please follow and share the podcast with your friends and family units. If by chance you disliked the episode, then please share the On The Go show with your most hated enemies. Thank you and enjoy your day.